Hey, we got Bento again. It's been super recent since we had them, like literally like 4 streams ago, 3 streams ago. Yeah, the last one we had, the first one we ever had from Bento was, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. Was 3025, very recent. Which was the little feather that if you put in liquid, like, yeah. It basically like causes like you to teleport into like a hellscape of fire and all that stuff, and even like the water cannot extinguish the fire either. It's like impossible to get rid of. Yeah. That's the first one from Bento. We will get another one. Oh no, that's the second. That's the second first one from Bento. Yeah. Hold on, they picked the wrong one. Yeah. No, sorry. The last one we read from Bento was 3058, which was the shadowy creature that like is supposed to like represent what you think of yourself in a negative way, of course. Even says here concavity, the mirror, lucidity, the feather, and now we have absurdity, the cabin. So that's what this one is called, absurdity. Let's yeah, let's get into it. Keta again, I think it has been like the object class that has been used the most in today's reading. It sounds like it at least. Special containment procedures. A circular surveillance perimeter with a 500-meter radius is to be established around SCP-3066. Surveillance of this perimeter must be continuous, and Foundation personnel must be on standby to intercept any trespassing civilians. Class B amnestics may be applied to close proximity civilian witnesses of an Eckert Anatole discharge. Products of an Eckert Anatole discharge are to be destroyed as rapidly as possible. Flamethrowers and incendiary grenades are to be stocked in a separate structure adjacent to SCP-3066 for deployment during an incident. Management of the ensuing wildfires may be handled by Foundation operatives or local firefighters. -C are to be terminated or kept in solitary confinement. Testing on -C is not to involve direct contact with more than 5 uninfected persons at a time. To prevent lapses of judgment and loss of productivity, entry into SCP-3066 is strongly discouraged. Entry into -A is strictly prohibited. Cover stories are to be fielded regarding unusual lights in the area surrounding Brown Mountain, North Carolina. This includes vehicle lights, combustion of naturally occurring methane, ball lightning, and extraterrestrial activity. And we have the picture here that says SCP-3066, the cabin. Now that's the cabin I would crash inside. No. You can tell it has nothing left in there. If it rains, you'll be wet. You'll be soaked. Okay. SCP-3066 is a small log cabin in Linval Gorge, North Carolina. It's dilapidated and appears to have been abandoned in 1937. Much of the roof has collapsed. It is notably one of the only artificial structures in the valley and is entirely isolated. SCP-3066 is surrounded by thick vegetation, heavily obscuring it when viewed from a distance of 20 meters. When within SCP-3066, the perception of time is heavily warped. While time-keeping devices work as expected, personnel report a trace-like state of mind with very few memories of their time inside SCP-3066. Metabolism is also much slower, allowing personnel to spend several days within SCP-3066 with no ill effect. There's definitely some drawback. Underneath SCP-3066 is an airtight cellar, originally used for storing wine. The cellar contains a writing desk that is stocked with hundreds of written pages and journals. Nearby is a circular borehole with a diameter of 3.3 meters. This borehole has been designated -A. -A has no discernible bottom. Expedition into -A have managed a depth of 2 kilometers, and experimentation has not been conclusive. At 50 meters intervals along -A, there are large archways leading into the separate chambers. The existence of these chambers is known only through seismic analysis, as any cameras or observers entering the archways abruptly stops responding. No personnel or equipment lost in this way have been recovered. Furthermore, incursions into the archways appear to trigger an echoed anatole discharge. At somewhat irregular intervals, -A will produce an echoed anatole discharge. These events only occur during the local night. During an echoed anatole discharge, approximately 500 tons of matter are expelled into SCP-3066 and the surrounding forest. Jesus, okay. This matter is usually propelled through the collapsed roof of SCP-3066 and into the upper troposphere once it exits SCP-3066. This process does not usually cause damage to SCP-3066. The products of an echoed anatole discharge are often very flammable and can often be neutralized using incendiary weapons. Due to the flight trajectory often taken by discharged material, the burning material will often fall on a near Brown Mountain about 7 miles east of SCP-3066. Jesus, that's how high it shoots. %75% of the discharge mass is composed of 5 times 10-inch sheets of parchment paper. These pages are collectively designated -B. -B are covered in writing or sketches that contain content cognito hazards. The remaining mass varies between incidents but will usually consist of a delivery system for -B. Exposure to -B will invariably result in immediate cessation of all higher mental functions. Affected individual -C will also use their own bodily fluids to ride on a nearby surface. Great, of course they do. These communications are often aimed at convincing other observers to move toward SCP-3066. Shit. Some instances of -C will also produce nonsensical poetry and prose. None of the writing created by -C is anomalous. When in the presence of non-affected individuals, -C will rapidly approach and begin to vocalize. This reminds me of the movie series called Cabin Fever. In the first movie, it was all about, like, you know, a group of people going out to, like, camp. Well, not really camp, but, like, spend time in the forest by a cabin. And then one of them gets bitten by a stranger's kid, and then, like, he gets infected with some really deadly disease, and it spreads really well. And then you learn that the water system got poisoned, and that's why everyone's getting sick. What was I? These communications are often aimed at convincing observers. None of the writing created by -C is anomalous. When in the presence of a non-affected individual, -C will rapidly approach and begin to vocalize. Audio recordings of this process degrade into white noise before vocalization begins, and any human observers within earshot will become new instances of -C. As a result, the content of vocalization by -C is unknown. The effect of -B may constitute a mimetic agent, though further investigation is necessary to classify them. When present in large groups, -C will alter their behavior. Instances of -C will begin forming convoluted structures out of their own bodies, often extracting and utilizing internal organs as structural components. Note that -C are no more durable than non-anomalous human beings, though they do not have a pain response. The structures created by large collections of -C have the same effect as -B and can trigger the infection of a much larger population. Addendum 1. Expedition audio log. Members of MTF-09 mole rats were sent into SCP-3066 after the initial exploration of the anomaly. The purpose of the expedition was to explore -A. Show audio log for expedition beta. Okay, begin log. Check in team. Beta 2 checking in. Beta 3. Beta 4 right after you. Okay, we're going in. Stay close. The door creaks. Wow, and I thought this place looked decrepit from the outside. It's dusty. Smells kind of like ash. Nothing unusual so far. Mind closing that door? Okay, all team members are inside. It's a little crowded. You know, this place is pretty beautiful once you stop to take a look at it. It really is. Shit, I wouldn't mind living here. Whoever built the cabin had the right idea. Irrelevant dialogue over the next 15 minutes has been redacted for brevity. I agree. At any rate, I think we're flirted long enough. Let's get down to the cellar. Man, we got time. We could stay up here a little bit longer. That would be great, but I don't want to get yelled at when we leave. Let's move. Sound of footsteps and creaking wood. Huh. Why would you put a desk in the cellar? Maybe he didn't have a room upstairs. I wouldn't mind having the alcohol on hand. I think the huge hole in the floor is what we should be focusing on here. That's right. I'll get out. That's right. I'll get out the rappelling gear. Alright, beta 3 and 4 get information. We're heading down. Understood. Rope is anchored and unfurled. Beta 1, 3 and 4 secure. The harnesses begin the descent. Beta 2 remains on the surface. It's very dark. The walls are smooth stone and perfectly circular. Looks like it was excavated by a machine. Hell of a thing to have on the, house in the wine cellar, no less. My breath's fogging up. We're about 50 meters in by now. It wouldn't be a surprise. Hey, I see something. Yeah, there's a doorway. Wow, that thing's pretty big. I'd say 3 meters tall and at least 2 meters wide. Also cleanly cut out of the stone. Should we go in? No, I think we keep going down and try to find the bottom. On the way back up, we can investigate further. I've got this feeling that this is gonna take a while. No shit. I mean, they called us in, right? How are you guys doing down there? It's getting a little cold, but we haven't found any boogeymen yet. Tell me when you do. We will. Be careful. Oh, I will. 2 hours of irrelevant dialogue have been redacted for brevity. Note that the presence of multiple archways at irregular intervals is discovered. Pardon me, Jesus, that tea. That's the least thing to be worried about? Yeah, you're absolutely right. How much rope do we have gone through beta 2? 2,234 meters, and I'm about to run out. What do you say we head back? Anyone feeling hungry? Now that you mentioned that I'm a little peckish, let's go up. Clicks as ascenders are equipped. I think I'm going upstairs to think about it for a bit. Radio in if you need anything. Will do. Hey, we could use the echo to tell how much further down it goes. Go ahead, but you have to do the math. Echo! Reverberation or her beta 2 makes no attempt at calculating depth. I think it's supposed to be beta 3 because beta 2 is not anywhere near there. Analysis have concluded that the sounds faded out before the presence of a bomb service can be confirmed. 2 hours of real relevant dialogue have been redacted for brevity. I think this is what I think it's the last archway before we get out. Can you confirm beta 2? Sure. You are 50 meters. You have 50 meters. Alright, it's now, never. I'll lead the way. I need to give my arms a rest anyway. Okay, I'm in the archway. The floor is solid. It's pitch black in there. Oh fuck, that's gonna hurt real bad tomorrow. That's fine. Let's go. My lamp doesn't seem to be doing anything. I guess we move forward. Affirmative. Guys, go ahead. I'll work out a few kinks here. This is not normal. The walls aren't reflecting. All your feet from beta 1 and 4 suddenly turn to static. Guys? You still there? I think the max got out. Any trouble down there? Oh shit, they're gone. Can't see them at all. Beta 1, you there? No, yeah, no response. And now there's no small shit. I'm getting out of here. Okay, hurry up. I'll keep the rope down for a few more minutes before, in case they're still there. A few grunts as Beta 3 return to the surface with some urgency. Beta 2 and 3 remain in the cellar for some minutes as Beta 2 begins stowing the rope. Do you feel that? The rumble? Yeah, and a bit of a breeze too. We should get going. And I still be down there. No way in hell. Look, I'm close to finishing with this. The rope is stowed in silence. Some wind is picked up as well. As a minor seismic vibration, Beta 2 and 3 leave SCP-3066 and report back to the Foundation Command. And log. This is not normal, well you don't say. First day. Addendum 2, log of Eckert Anatol discharges. The following is a complete list of all the Eckert Anatol discharges. A complete list, here we go. Incident 1 occurred the night following Expedition Beta 19. Foundation operatives in the area reported minor seismic activity, followed by a loud report from the direction of SCP-3066. Soon afterward, a large plume of insects was sighted ascending over the Linville Gorge, heading east. To prevent public awareness of SCP-3066, a small aircraft was fielded to administer insecticide to the plume. The chemical had little effect during this initial flyby. It was discovered that the plume was composed entirely of large beetles, each carrying a thick sheaf of paper. As the plume approached populated areas, it was deemed necessary to field a Foundation cargo lifter equipped with incendiary weapons. The beetles proved to be more flammable than expected, and much of the plume was rapidly destroyed. Surviving elements of the discharge were collected for testing. Incident 2 occurred on 19. Foundation personnel were beginning to set up a surveillance perimeter surrounding SCP-3066 and reported minor seismic activity immediately prior to discharge. Incendiaries were rapidly flown in. It was found that no aerial elements existed, and the discharge was largely contained in the area immediately surrounding SCP-3066. Several thousand African grey parrots were roosting in the trees near SCP-3066, and the forest floor was littered with -B. The birds were reappearing the phrase "Hell for the company," but were otherwise non-anomalous. The effects of -B were more firmly established during this event, and cleanup operations extended over the next 3 months. Incident 3 occurred on 19. On-site personnel responded after seismic activity was detected preceding the discharge. Much of the discharge material was destroyed immediately after it emerged from SCP-3066, imitating the impact of the incident. Notably, the material was expelled at an incredibly high velocity, causing damage to SCP-3066 and allowing a few grams of materials to escape Foundation efforts and enter the stratosphere. This matter was carried by winds towards the city of Morganton, where a mirror outbreak of -C was detected and successfully handled. Incident 4 occurred on 19. On-site personnel responded after seismic activity was detected preceding the discharge. All what? Wait, wait. I'm gonna read this paragraph and then I'm gonna respond to what they just wrote. On-site personnel responded after seismic activity was detected preceding the discharge. All discharge material was successfully neutralized after it emerged from SCP-3066. Collateral damage to the forest and SCP-3066 was limited. Due to the rapid response, the precise nature of the discharge was never identified. Alright, before I read this, I'm not gonna rate anything. I'm curious what the hell you mean. Welcome to Fluff. What a weird thing to like start off the conversation with. But the answer will be no. Incident 5. I said no. Incident 5 occurred on 2000. On-site personnel were unable to respond in a timely fashion due to an unrelated emergency in the area. Reports of a large white cloud over Linville Gorge. Why would I rate base? Like where in? This is a reading stream. Why would I rate a base? Were unable to respond in a timely fashion due to an unrelated emergency in the area. Reports of a large white. I'm sorry, brother. You're in the wrong spot. When you make new friends, can you raid my base? You either make a friend real quick, or you'll be. If the police are gonna be after you, like this guy just follows me, asks me to raid his base. I have no idea what he wants from me. Reports of a large white cloud over Linville Gorge were met with the deployment of an aircraft armed with incendiaries. The discharge material was found to be a group of, what the fuck, ornithopters made of balsa wood and magpie feathers. The power source for the machines has not been identified. Each ornithopter was delivering a sample of -B. What the hell is an ornithopter? Let me actually look that up. I never heard of that word before. Oh, that's what they called? Interesting. I love how it's the Dune one. Of course, the Dune one's the most like known one now. And it's made out of balsa wood and magpie feather. Okay. Made out of true Mother Nature. Due to the evasive action by the discharge material, extensive damage was caused to the forest in Linville Gorge before the threat could be neutralized. A joint effort between Foundation operatives and local firefighters was sufficient to extinguish the flames. The wildfire and noise were blamed on a lightning storm. SCP-3076 was discovered in the forest during early cleanup operation. Hey, so this is going to be the one we read next weekend. Cool. Gotta keep this mechanic, we gotta keep this one in mind. We gotta keep 3066 in mind. And the fact that that it was the ornithopters that brought 3076 into the Foundation's eyesights. Incident 6 occurred on 2000. On-site personnel responded after minor seismic activity was detected. Response efforts were successful and neutralized the discharge quickly. There were no samples where the recovered personnel report the presence of origami butterflies, possibly made from -B. That's kind of cool. I kind of like how no, mechanic, you know how I work. I kind of like how it's like discharges so many different things. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's really cool that like. So I need to make. I'm definitely gonna make a cabin thumbnail that has has no roof, and it's just this. And I'm gonna use the origami butterflies as his discharge, like just like a fountain of origami butterflies. That's for sure. I think that would be the coolest thing to do. Cabin, fountain of origami butterflies. There. Making a note for myself. Alright. Incident 7 occurred on the 2000. On-site personnel responded immediately. The discharge material consisted of several flame-resistant parts, each containing a sample of -B. These parts appeared to be self-propelled and targeted Foundation personnel directly. Most of the response force was lost and became instances of -C. Aerial support was called in, and the remaining discharge material as well as -C was successfully neutralized. The possibility that SCP-3066 may be adapting to Foundation efforts is being considered. Addendums 3, recovered journal. The following are excerpts from a journal recovered from the writing desk in SCP-3066. Show journal. Oh god, this journal is fucking long as hell, isn't it? Alright, 10th, 3rd, 1931. I bought a cabin in North Carolina early this morning. I reasoned it would be a welcome change from the hubbub of New York City, and it might allow me to focus on my writing. I plan to begin packing as soon as I finish my work for the newspaper. When next I write, I hope to be basking in the natural glow of Appalachia. Thank you for the blessings. 10/30th, 1931. The forest is disconcertingly quiet. There's nothing but the soft sound of this birdsong wind. I suppose I will come to enjoy it with time. Yeah. With no obligations ahead of me, I'll be finally able to write my novel in peace. 11/21st, 1931. My mother contacted me from New York. She would like me to visit the family for Christmas. I was forced to decline her invitation. The words seemed to be spilling from my pen, and the ideas flow even more strongly. I'll spend the winter in North Carolina. That's cold. Especially in the 30s, to not visit your family. Hey man, you can't just send a text. Telling them like, nah, I'm not coming. 12/13th, 1931. I visited Morgantown today. I need to stock up on food and firewood for the coming snows. It's a welcoming enough place, if rather slow. There were many people curious what someone from the big city was doing in the backwoods. A few were interested in my novel and would be willing to read it once it's done. I have begun to entertain the concept of publication. Perhaps I can make my fortune this way. 12/25th, 1931. There was a vicious storm today. I'm stuck in the cabin for at least a few weeks. 1st, 1932. Happy New Year. 17th, 1932. I tried to leave the valley, but there's still snow blocking the trail. I have enough food to last into the summer, but the isolation is my main concern. I'm glad to report that I have made significant headway in my writings of the winter. I expect to be finished before the end of spring. 2nd, 3rd, 1932. There's still no way out of the gorge. The forest is mesmerizing. 2nd, 10th, 1932. I've been having trouble with the novel recently. I'm unhappy with the earlier chapters and I've considered rewriting them. I'm also increasingly occupied with the broad public perception of my novel. I would very much like my work to become known the world over, but the additional deliberation may prolong the process. 3rd, 4th, 1932. My work has come to a standstill. Whole weeks have passed by without memory. As I lay and think nothing but thinking, my pen sits idle. 3rd, 6th, 1932. I went out for a walk in the woods today to clear my mind. While I was out, I stumbled upon the most curious bird. It was a raven or a crow, but entirely white. What an odd thing. 3rd, 7th, 1932. I have begun writing again, little by little. A fervor that I felt when I first arrived here has started to come back. I'm hopeful for that future. I saw the white crow today watching me from outside my window. 3rd, 10th, 1932. I have decided the best way to complete this novel is to remove all the complexity. No supporting characters, no setting, nothing but raw emotion. I will write the story as a series of self-reflection from a single man. Powerful, simple and accessible. Perfect. 3rd, 13th, 1932. My efforts have been going well. The crow visited me today and left a ball of ink. Is this the ball of ink I think it is? Yep. The one from that, the one that this author wrote last time. Just as it was starting to run out. It is quite a clever bird. I'm not sure where it found the ball, but the ink is absolutely marvelous. Black as night and smooth as air. I will cherish the gift. 3rd, 20th, 1932. I have seen myself for what I truly am. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, as I mentioned, that ink is the one that makes you see how you, like, it makes you a version of you that's like all like droopy, and it's like kind of like what you think of yourself, or at least a version of what you think of yourself. So, and usually it's not very good. It's very like it really ruins your self-esteem. 4th, (1932). My food stores have been depleting, but I find myself needing to eat less and less as I work. The glow of inspiration has consumed me. I find the mirror increasingly useful as a portal into the human mind. Some days I simply write what it whispers to me. 5th, (1932). I am almost done. There are only a few more revisions to make. I have realized it has been a few months since I last tried to make my way into Morgantown. I'm sure it goes soon. The Riot Crow left some of its feathers as a gift today. Question mark 1934. There are no words for what I have witnessed. A place with a quill. I assume that's a feather. Yeah, that's a feather. It's a Smiles God. Okay, that's cool. I like that we're getting the previous SCP wait a minute, that Bentu wrote. I like that we get the previous SCPs that they wrote mentioned here. So it looks like Bentu will do a thing where like each SCP like kind of like weaves into each other, which is cool. And because they're all like not that far apart, it's not like we get one. It's not like we get one where like these three are in the first 100 and then like the next three are like in the last 100 of series 3. I'm glad we're getting them all pretty much like in a good reasonable amount of time after each other, which means that like keeping them in mind is gonna be easy for us. Mine is gone, my thoughts as good as reality. Beautiful, blank and perfect, a world ready to be seeded by my own mind. I have built myself a grand palace in that world, living on a hillside covered in lavender. It's with great pain I take the time to write these words, as every moment in the real world is like hell by comparison. I'm not sure when I will next write, but I have no intention of leaving my parchment soon. Question mark 1936. I'm not sure where I went wrong. It's not beautiful anymore. Question mark 1936. The pains of reality are coming back. I must have been gone a long time. Question mark 1936. Where are you seeing the mirror being mentioned? Hold on. Oh, you are like way down. No, you were here. Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I was like confused. Like, I don't see where it is, but yeah, I passed it by. The pains of come back. It must have been on the quill. It is the quill. It wants to create of its own accord. Question mark 1936. Man, he's been there for years now. The twitching and scrapping keeping up at night. I must end this before I go insane. Question mark. Looks like all the dates are on a question mark. The world has fallen apart. The quill is a clumsy creator, but it's ruthlessly efficient. Where I left ruins and smoke, it has created hell. I have tried to reason with it. It has agreed to share power with me if I allow it to work within this reality. I'm not sure what this will mean. Mechanic, I'm going to quickly tag you in Discord. Just so we can like talk about that real quick. I looked in the mirror today and saw a magpie. I don't know where I am. I woke up an hour ago and the walls are covered in strange symbols and shapes. My head hurts when I look at them. The quill is waiting for me. I try to stop it from the inside. It needs me, and I can keep it from breaking free. I think to spend the rest of my existence in hell, however long that is. I think sometimes that the quill and I are very different. All I want is for the world to read what it makes, just like I did all those years ago. It is, after all, just a feather. Maybe I'm the only one here, finding myself in a fit of madness. Maybe I'm already dead, I just don't know. But when did I ever know? I can't risk bringing the whole world down with me. I will be going in permanently tomorrow. What it needs above all else is a liaison to the real world. Without that, it really it's just a feather. But as soon as someone steps into its realm, it can dig itself in and start creating abominations. That's why I have to stay down there. I'm the only one who knows about it. It's a secret that will die with me. No one will know of my sacrifice, and that's fine. Damn bird. I wonder if one of the other Bentu stories will be about the bird. About the magpie, because it does seem to be mentioning it quite a lot. Also, there's a mirror that's being mentioned, so I wonder if like those are like two items that we get to see coming up eventually. I see you put a reminder. Nice, you put a reminder on in Discord, that's cool. Good, good, good. Whew. Okay, feeling awake, feeling good. Got 3 more to go. Probably another hour and 20 minutes, maybe. Maybe, who knows. But yeah, no, okay. It makes also now reading the title again, Absurdity. Yeah, definitely. The amount of absurdity that happened, that came out that cabin, makes sense. No. Don't you start, man. don't you start. Don't be the guy like you know, you weren't here when this happened, but there was like this one. I keep mentioning them because like it really bothered me. That one guy that was like constantly telling me which like series like 9 SCPs I should read, or which tales that are from like series like 8. And like every time. At first they were sincere. At first they were like, yeah, just read that. I was like, no, and I was like, and they're like, why not? I was like, I'm reading in numerical order. That's how it goes here. So at first I had to explain to them, but then afterwards they just to like annoy me. I assume at least like they constantly were like, oh, you should read that. And I was like, what are you like? What do you not understand? So don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Alright, let's go on.